I'm Logan Crawford, and right now on Spotlight, we're delving into a compelling memoir. It is called To Then and Back Again, a memoir part one, a collection of uh-ohs, no-nos, and a few OMGs. It's written by a great author by the name of Jerry Bryson McMillan. This powerful book captures the emotional highs and lows of Jerry's life, from the adversities of childhood to the triumphs of adulthood. Join us as Jerry takes us on an odyssey filled with raw, honest, and sometimes humorous reflections on overcoming life's obstacles. We're delighted to have this very talented author join us here today on Spotlight. We thank the team at Inks and Bindings for helping us put him in the spotlight today. And we ask viewers like you to support authors like him by subscribing to our channel and by purchasing his amazing book. The links are below this interview. Jerry, great to see you here today on Spotlight.
Thank you, sir. Nice to be here.
Great to have you on the show. It's quite a memoir you have written. Why did you decide to share your story with the world by writing this book?
Well, when I first, all this accumulated over the course of, 15, 20 years and further, but that's in later editions. I just felt like there's a lot of things that happened to me that's happened to a lot of people that were kind of in the same position, same age. And I just felt like if I, explained what happened to me in a graphic, if you will, memoir, that they could relate to it and kind of follow the path that I followed to move through it, get through it, and move into adulthood with some semblance of sanity, if you will.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's a lot easier said than done. And I just wanted people to know that there's this kind of thing happens way too frequently. Well, one time is too frequent.
Yeah.
And that if they can just hang in there and be strong and know that tomorrow's another day, that they will get through it. It's horrible, but at the same, when you reflect upon it, it's just something that needs to be overcome. And when you come out the other side, you are a stronger person. It matures you a lot faster than you ever expected, but you will get through it, and there's help out there. There's a lot of help. And if you feel you need to get help, please go get help. Don't keep it bottled up inside, because that does nothing for nobody, especially yourself.
Absolutely. Can you talk about a major challenge you faced in your life that's included in this book and how overcoming it has shaped you?
Yes, there's actually quite a few. Um, I alluded to it actually in this book for future reference to another book, the next book. Mm-hmm. But my best friend, Bob Hauser, and we were lifelong best friends. He had been going through a lot of stuff that had happened in his life. And his odyssey is probably way worse than mine. But, I had built a home in our hometown, Solomon, Kansas, me and my father. And when I reached a certain age, I thought, you know what, I'm tired of the small town, and I moved to the big town of Salina, what I thought was a big town.
Yeah.
And during that time, him and my other best friend, Sherry, they had gotten together and become, partners. And some things had happened in his life. And over time, it built up on him. And he had been in and out of mental, I don't want to say institutions, but through that whole system. But in the end, he just couldn't handle it. And so he had committed suicide, and he had committed suicide in my home, the A-frame. And he had cut the water lines in the home. And so that when somebody came home, they would have to go down into the garage, which was under the house, to find out what was wrong. And there, Sherry had found him with he had put a blanket around his head and a shotgun in his mouth.
God.
And that story is going to have to be told in a particular fashion to where people understand that that's not the route. That's not how you cope. That's not a coping mechanism. That's a way to get out of something and never come back from.
How were you able to come back from losing a friend in such a violent and awful way?
You don't think about it until you do. And then when you do, it's a reflection. And when you reflect, you got the good things coming in and the good things going out and the bad things coming in and going out, and they intertwine. And eventually you have to mesh them together to make them part of your life. And over time, it gets better.
Yeah.
You'll never forget that, that a situation in of that kind, but you just learn to cope, and you have your buddy system, you have your friends and your family. And please, if anybody listens to this and they're thinking about that, there's help.
Absolutely. There is help out there. What message or advice do you offer readers who are facing struggles and seeking to break free and accept themselves?
Take a deep breath.
Mm.
Don't let your imagination run wild, because your imagination's good, but if it takes you in the wrong direction, it can take you down a dark path that you don't ever want to go down.
Mm-hmm.
And if you do feel you're going down that path, there's help.
What was it like writing this book? Was it difficult reliving some of these painful chapters?
Yeah, it was. When I started writing it, I got to a point in the book when I thought, I've completed the journey I'm on. I didn't finish the book, but I felt I had put down enough that I could reflect on it and know that I got through it, and that tomorrow's another day.
Mm.
So after I got to that point, I just put it down. And then some years later, so many other things had happened, and I had so many interesting things going on in my life that I thought, you know what? I've got a lot more to tell. And if I do it in such a fashion that it's not a condemnation, it's not a cudgel, it's something that you have within yourself.
Yeah.
And you can get through it.
Yep, absolutely. This is part one. Tell us about part two. Is it written, about to be written? Tell us about that.
I've got it laid out. I've got the chapters laid out.
Mm-hmm.
And because it was such a recent notion that I finished this book and got it published. And now in that interim time, when I started writing it again, on the second one, I made it as far as getting the chapters, so I know what I'm going to write. And I would say now that I'm retired from work, which just happened this year, not too long ago, I'm setting up for my next book. And to be honest with you, Logan, there's going to be probably at least 2 more books.
Mm.
And they're going to be written in the same fashion, in like a first person, second person, a high level, low level. It's going to be a swirlwind, not a whirlwind, but a swirlwind. And I'll probably have the rough draft by the end of the year. And hopefully by the middle of next year, I'll get it published.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, we're looking forward to that because this book is so compelling. It's called To Then and Back Again, a memoir, part one, a collection of uh-ohs, no-nos, and a few OMGs. It's written by Jerry Bryson McMillan. It is a powerful book that captures the emotional highs and lows of his life, from adversities in childhood to the triumphs of adulthood. It's an amazing story, and it'll help you be a little introspective about your own life, because there always are shared experiences and commonalities. I think you'll see that in Jerry's book. And also, it's a book that will give you hope that you're not in this alone, that there is a way out, and you too can rise from the ashes at times. Jerry, thank you so much for joining us here on Spotlight.
Sir, I appreciate it. And I'm thankful that I've gotten this out there, and I hope if it helps one person, just one person.
Absolutely. I think it'll help many people. I think it's an important book. And like I said, at the end of that, I think it'll give people hope. And there is hope. There are professionals out there who can help you if you're at a time in your life that is dark. Always could talk to family, to friends, but always realize that it's always darkest before the dawn, to use a cliche, that lightness is coming, and whatever you're going through right now is only temporary. Jerry, thanks for being our guest. To the folks at home, I'm Logan Crawford, thanking you for your time, this time until next time on Spotlight.
Thank you, sir.